Hello and welcome to my channel, AB Make It Artwork, where we do what we do to make that artwork for you. And if you're new to my channel, maybe hit that subscribe button, join the AB Creative Crew. We do sketchy art things. And this is a continuation of my work stories. And I worked at a fair. I worked at two fairs actually. One behind the scenes for the fairgrounds and another one at a wax hands booth. So my first job as an exhibit clerk, my job was to take in entries, write down personal information, and arrange the exhibit area, so arrange the displays. And I remember only a couple of people, well, I remember my sort of boss who I had to check in with, which was this wonderfully sweet lady, probably like early mid-40s, seemed like the crafty aunt type. She had like curly brown hair, glasses, and always wore like soft pastel floral patterns. She was really nice, and I remember getting along super well with all of my coworkers, except for this one guy who a lot of people found was kind of an irritating jerk. He had like sandy blonde hair, he was only like 3 years older than me, and I don't know, a lot of people complained that he was kind of a jerk, but that's beside the point. Um, with the booth, I think there's only like one particular experience I can remember the most, aside from asking for more days and just bouncing between exhibit halls to work at, was this one older woman. I want to say she was like in her 60s or something. And she brought in this quilt that she said that she had like hand knitted or crocheted or something. And we didn't have a category for her blanket that she had with her. And so we sent her to Sewing Fabrics Fashion Hall, which was in like another building. And she ends up coming back, I guess, in a huff, having been told that they will not take her submission because they don't have any knitting or crocheting categories for quilts, and that she doesn't fit in any of their categories, so she has to come back to the crafting submissions. Now, I didn't notice or care because it was like my first job, and it was a way for me to get out of the house and hang out and interact with people. So I was like, oh, all right, we'll just put you under other since we don't really have a category for your item. And she's like, oh, fine, fine, fine. And just kind of huffed away. And I remember my coworker saying, oh, you handled that really well. She was being really mean and super snippy. And I was like, oh, I didn't notice. Just went right over my head. And other than that, like, I think on the day of like returning exhibits to people, the last day that I worked ended up raining and we had to collect food exhibits to the main like return hall, and there were like cakes that we had to carry with particular sugar decorations that we had to like get by super quickly because of the rain. It was like super obnoxious and annoying, and I accidentally spilled like homemade beer on myself because I didn't know what it was. That was annoying and embarrassing. A couple stories at like my second workplace, which was a wax hands booth, and we were the better wax hands booth because we did more dips, so you got a thicker wax hand that would be more durable. And two things that we had to constantly remind people of is that the wax is not hot, it is warm. It is warm like a warm bath or going into a hot tub, so it's not going to hurt you. And the other one was, please do not stick your hand back into the wax hand once we have taken it off, because it will have shrunk a little bit, will deform a little bit when we go to like decorate it. And like, I guess people had like a huge tendencies, especially kids, would try to shove their hand right back into the wax, and it was like, we cannot replace it after we've already told you, like, please do not do this. Like, just don't try to shove your hand in a hole that doesn't fit in anymore. And two people I remember the most is my manager and the owner of the booth, Scooter. She was really sweet. I loved her name, Scoots. Short red hair, just super nice, super nice. And this one mom who was like, I think she was a single mother, and she did the wax hand booth aside from her other job because it was something she enjoyed to do, and it also gave her like a free ticket to the fair, so that if she has an off day, she can bring her kid in, and like kid gets in for free or something like that. And something that she would do sometimes on her breaks, depending on like what band was in, is that she would go backstage and meet the bands and take pictures with them. And it's like, she was really pretty. She was like the hot rocker mom. She had like flowy, curly, wavy hair, like blonde hair. It's just super rocker mom aesthetic. She's just so pretty. She kind of had an attitude from time to time, but other than those times when she kind of had like an attitude, she was really nice. I mean, it was like an estrogen filled war zone. I'm kidding. We were all like really pleasant with each other. And one of the craziest things that happened is like a fight broke out in front of our booth, so we had to like keep people in the booth so that they wouldn't get into the altercation after like one of the rock concerts broke out. And like drunk people, these two guys got into a bout of fisticuffs, and one guy like got smashed into the concrete and like blood everywhere. It's crazy. But the other story, which I kind of have to be quick because we're like 2 minutes left, was the story of a mom with her like her toddler, or maybe she was younger. She might have been like 4 or 6 months old, and we knew that like we've had plenty of little kids come in, and they just think the sensation is weird of having the wax on her hands, and she was kind of like scared, like little girl's kind of scared because it feels weird and it's like unusual. And I reassured her a bunch. We kept her at like the one station because we knew she wouldn't be able to go through all the stations. And so like I reassured her like, you're doing such a good job. And we got the wax hand done. And I remember the mom just being so happy about that wax hand, and it's just it fills my heart with so many butterflies of joy to like have like at first starting from like that apprehension and then just being happy with the end product. But yeah, we're at the end of the video. If you want to find me at any of my other social media, I have a DeviantArt, Instagram, a Tumblr, a Twitter, and a Pinterest that I use for references. I hope you're having a wonderfully creative day wherever you are, and as always, make sure to do what you do to make that artwork for you. Lots of love. Bye.